We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It is Friday, January 22nd. I'm Sam, in for Tori. I'm here with Al and Lindsay. Let's get right to it. Well, it's barely been 3 days on the job for President Biden, and already he's signed a bunch of executive orders, but there's one that's getting a ton of pushback today. The president signed an order protecting LGBTQ people from discrimination, which could threaten federal funding from schools that do not allow trans women the right to compete in women's sports. Well, it's got a lot of attention on social media with the hashtag Biden erased women. One person tweeted, on day one, Biden unilaterally eviscerates women's sports. Any educational institution that receives federal funding must admit biologically male athletes to women's teams, women's scholarships, etc. A new glass ceiling was just placed over girls. While another tweeted, my womanhood isn't erased just because we acknowledge trans women as women too. My trans friends deserve every amount of respect and protections as I do. So DBL Nation, we want to hear from you on this one. I will be looking at your comments. We're going to discuss, what do you think about this? Is it fair for trans women to be allowed to compete in women's sports? In your opinion, go to dblvote.com. Weigh in right now. We've already received so many comments already this morning when I was looking, even just under the hashtag. So everybody's talking about this. Lindsay, what do you make of it?
I think that I've learned over time that trans women are women. And I think that the important part of the bill that I was looking at was that adults should be able to earn a living and pursue a vocation. They won't be fired, demoted, or mistreated because of their sex or the way that they orientate. And so I think those are the parts that I'm looking at. And everyone's digging into the sports aspect, but Biden needs a chance to explain the bill, discuss the bill, and talk about it before we say that he's bashing all women immediately the day after he actually put it into place. And nobody knows what's going to happen yet because these bills don't get enacted and go into your school the next day.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we start any conversation with somebody who just erased women, the conversation's over. That's not a thing. Baylor played last night. I watched the women's basketball game. Everybody seemed okay. Now, we do have something to talk about here in terms of biology. If you are born a man and you transition, there is more testosterone in your body that stays in your body, and you will have a physical advantage.
That's wrong. So that's actually wrong.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Now listen. Now yes.
Because the same stays with steroids as well with men that could stay men. But yes, go ahead.
All things being equal, you're right. Now, first of all, I have a nuanced, not anymore, but at one point, I swam Division I for UCLA, and when I first got out of swimming a long time ago, like 20 years ago, but I remember some of these talks starting to happen back when I got out of UCLA, and I remember at first my gut wrench reaction was, that's not fair. I was dead wrong. So luckily there is science that have looked at the hormones that have actually, like estrogen, that have actually, and hormones that will take away and decrease the amount of testosterone, to your point, so there isn't an unfair advantage. So we all know the IOC, right, the International Olympic Committee. They care so much about fairness. If you do one misstep when it comes to not even things that are categorized as drugs or anything that could give you an edge, they will immediately suspend you or ban you from your sport. We all know that. So the IOC has talked with the best researchers, the best scientists over the last 3 decades, and they have found a way to make it fair amongst the sport. So to your point, yes, all things being equal, there is an advantage biologically when it comes to testosterone in male versus female. However, they're not going to just allow some Al Jackson to come into the sport. They want to make sure that you've transitioned for 4 years.
Right.
They want to make sure that within that transition that you have undergone hormone therapy, that you have decreased your testosterone. I don't know the exact limit, but the IOC has those guidelines. If you fall under that limit that matches the other competitors, and you've undergone the estrogen and all the other therapy to make yourself equal with your female competitors, you are allowed to compete. So it's very important that we know that there is a lot of science behind it, and I think 100% trans athletes should be able to compete. And otherwise, it's discriminatory.
Lindsay, I just want to clarify the rest of my point real quick, and then we'll get to you. I was saying what we're talking about in terms of the biology is it's new. Let's give it a chance to figure it out. Trans people are here. They are us. We are family. We will figure out a way to incorporate you guys into sports without hashtags like eviscerate women.
Right.
So let's all calm down.
Thank you.
We'll let the scientists figure it out, to which none of us are, kind of am.
You are.
I have a degree in biology, but that's a little dusty. So
you got to dust it off.
Yeah, I got to dust it off.
But also, we have to think about all like the trans athletes in high school too. They're already dealing with so much discrimination. We don't need any sort of laws or even verbiage that's going to make them feel even more less than. That would literally jeopardize their lives, because we know that trans people are that much more likely to attempt suicide or commit suicide. So let's just remember, before we initially lash out, that we do our research and just know that there is research and science behind this. Okay, so one of the perks of being president, you get to redecorate. And President Biden wasted no time making changes to the most famous office in the nation, the Oval Office. One big change, President Biden ditched the Andrew Jackson portrait. Instead, he went with this painting of Benjamin Franklin. The president also got rid of this button that former President Trump had installed on the desk every time he pressed it. He got a Diet Coke, which begs the question, if you could have a button on your desk for something, what would it be? I should also say, too, on our last segment, we did have a technical glitch, so we weren't able to use the megaphone. So apologies to the audience who are all, writing in their thoughts and feelings. Hopefully we can get back to your opinions later in the show. But so he did some redecorating, right? And I'm glad he did. A lot more inclusive portraits. I know he also had Rosa Parks in there and individuals that he felt hopefully will help his his steps forward being more inclusive. But if we could, right now, Lindsay, if you could have a red button right under, and I know I don't pronounce my T's, everybody, so stop writing it in. If you could have a red button, Lindsay, right underneath your desk, what would you summon?
I don't know, because I thought about it and I love tacos, but I don't know that I want that many tacos to be summoned.
You don't have an on-demand
I don't have something that's specific.
What do you eat or drink the most, you would say, if we looked at your diet in a snapshot of a month? What do you think will be show up
English
most?
breakfast tea.
Breakfast tea.
Is that an every
That's
morning
so
thing?
random. Yeah, every morning I make that. Because since I studied abroad, I got into it and obsessed with it, and that's my thing in the morning. I have one over there.
There you go. That's your button then.
Yeah, I guess so. If somebody can make it for me, but he used to press it 18 times or so a day, according to reports. So that's a lot of Diet Coke.
That's a lot.
I need something that I want all day, every day.
That's a good point.
I like candy, so maybe it would be like Sour Patch
See, that
Kids.
would be really
Something like that.
Little
It'd be
Sour
a
Patch Kids
president
with
with
your
6 teeth in your mouth. You can't have on-demand Sour Patch Kids.
On-demand toothbrush as well.
There you go.
Al Jackson, what would you summon?
Oh, I am disappointed you have to even ask this, Sam. Sparkling water. You know, since I
Really?
stopped, I've always been a sparkling water person in a weird way. Something that helped me transition from drinking, because I used to drink vodka tonics, is just I like soda water. It kind of is like an easy transition, so now I drink it all the time.
So you would have soda water on demand.
Sparkling water.
Okay.
Yeah, different flavors.
And for me, I would have green tea. I'm a big sucker for green tea, so I'm right there with you, but it's a specific brand called Oiocha. And then I would also have blowouts on demand. I would love
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Oh, girl, I would love if someone would come over and then I'd get my hair all blown out.
Do you understand what Fox News would do with our first female president getting blowouts on demand?
I know.
They'd be like, see,
Yeah.
I told you.
I know.
Can't handle anything.
This is what's going to happen.
I stretch my blowout for like 10 days.
My taxes pay for your nails.
I think it's interesting, though, to talk about the whole office,
Yeah.
how intentional President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala have been throughout this entire process, from Eugene Goodman walking Kamala down to the pictures of Alexander Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson, who famously didn't really get along with all their values, but came to terms and agreed on many things. And I think that is just a really smart way to move forward, to continue to convince people that you want people to come together. And this is not just about my side versus your side. This is about middle of the road, to use that driving analogy you used yesterday.
There you go.
We're
I got
staying right
beat
down
up
the
for
middle
that
of the road.
driving analogy.
Beautifully said, Lindsay. Beautifully
She
said.
uses my analogy, and hers is beautiful.
Well, it was. It was very
Yours is good, you know.
It was a little long.
This is it, your big chance to become a billionaire. Yes, it's in billion, or just about. The Mega Millions jackpot, which is being drawn tonight, has reached almost $1 billion. So what do you think the odds are that you'll win the $970 million jackpot? We have no idea what the odds are. We're going to guess. So the odds of winning are, don't look. Okay, Lindsay, what do you think the odds of winning are?
1 to 220,000.
That's it?
What?
Oh, is that terrible? I'm not a gambler. I don't know.
Easy. That's like winning the pick 3 in your
220,000.
local.
Excuse me, that's a lot of people. Does everybody and their mom play the lotto?
That's what Lindsay thought was a big
Stadium.
number. She was
I thought I was going high.
Like 5 and 5,000, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
if the odds were that, I'd leave this show right now and go play.
Okay, well, what
Those
are the
would be
odds?
great odds.
Yours is horrible. What about your odds? What do you think the probability is?
I would say it would be at least 1 in 500 million. I would
Okay.
guess. That's about
Okay.
how many people would play,
I
roughly.
think.
Are 500 million people really playing the lotto?
Yeah.
Yeah, buying a couple tickets.
Yes.
There's what, 300 million Americans?
I haven't seen
Yeah.
somebody buy a lotto ticket in a while.
One in.
Go to 7-Eleven, boo. They're right there.
There's a line out the door in some of them.
Yeah.
I would say 1 in 275 million.
All right, do we have the answer?
Yeah, we do. Let's see. Albert Jackson.
You were
What?
actually closer.
Whoa. No,
That's-
you said 300 million.
Oh, yeah, I did
You're
say.
closer.
Okay, there we go.
We
I'll
need to
take
just
it.
knock
you
off
said
those last
500
three
million.
numbers.
I
Yes,
haven't
you
said
did. You said
300.
500 million.
Well,
I was
I'm
closer.
sorry, I was a little stunned over here with Mrs. 220,000.
I know.
If we knock off those last three numbers, it's basically 300,000.
There we go. I like the way you think. Take a little edit.
Coming up on DBL, Al chats with Sean Robinson, host of 90 Day Fiance. Al loves that show.
Fanboy.
She got a brand new spinoff, and she's serving up even more drama. And Bernie's inauguration fashion is still buzzing. There he is. He's responding to all the memes that have gone viral. That's coming up next. Welcome back to DBL. It's the photo that spawned a million memes. Last night on Late Night with Seth Meyers, Bernie Sanders addressed the picture of him bundled up with his mittens at the inauguration that, of course, has gone viral. Watch.
Were you aware that this photo was immediately sort of became the meme of the day?
Not at all. I was just sitting there trying to keep warm, trying to pay attention to what was going on.
I appreciate that you're not a politician who uses memes, but you became one. I mean, does your staff show them to you? Here you are with the Sex and the City girls.
Yeah, I've seen them.
And because those Bernie memes are the gifts that keep on giving, we've got a few more to show you. Demi Moore posted the famous pottery scene from Ghost with Bernie and his mittens standing in for Patrick Swayze. Get it, Bernie. There's also Bernie as Sharon Stone from the movie Basic Instinct. Then there's Bernie sitting on the couch with the Golden Girls. Al must love that one.
My girls.
He fits right in. And then Bob Ross put a cold little Bernie in his painting and gave him some happy mittens, of course. And we put Bernie in our DBL studio. Yes, Bernie. I love him. Thank God I'm in that picture. Okay.
He's not socially distancing, though.
No, he's not. Not good, Bernie. The photo has become such a hit. The company Topps has now made Bernie into a limited edition baseball card. And you can even buy this sweatshirt on Bernie's own website.
Oh, I need that right now.
Seriously, right?
I need that. Lindsay, why do you think this resonated with people so much?
Because everybody was dressed in their Sunday's top tier best outfits, and he was dressed like he had the inauguration and then grocery shopping. Like, what is that? He was just like, yeah, I'm really here for the politics. I'm not here for the.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be here for both. You got to get dressed. It's a big event.
It's really weird that we.
Bernie
He's a classic grandpa with that outfit right
But
there.
I think underneath the parka, he does have a suit on. You know, Bernie always wears a suit. I've interviewed Bernie, and he always comes dressed. He takes his job very seriously, we all know. And I know he's also the people's politician, so he's going to wear the mittens that a teacher gave him that are repurposed sweaters and recycled water bottles. That's super Bernie. But underneath that parka, he definitely had a suit and tie on.
Let me ask you a question really quickly, Sam. Do you think we will live to see a day where we have a politician that looks like Bernie? Because whether we want to admit it or not, all of our politicians kind of look the same. They all have that same weird, I want to be a senator hair and just that sad hairstyle that just looks like I haven't slept in the same room with my husband. Like, why don't politicians look like all I care about is this? Like when you see Bill Belichick, the coach, he looks like all he does is stay in the film room. You know, do you think we'll see that?
I think Bernie's an anomaly, Lindsay. I mean, Lindsay knows this world more than I do, and I think Bernie truly is the people's politician. So this is so on brand for him, and I think that's why it took off.
I mean, I think you can do both. Like, why can't you get? I think Kamala's an anomaly, but she gets dressed like. Look at Tom Hanks. He froze for the occasion.
I know, but
Bernie
he's
could
not
just put on a good coat.
Like
That's all
an
we're asking
everyday
for.
Joe politician. That looks the part.
Fine, he
Just a
truly
person
might
who
be an
doesn't get that
everyday
weird
Joe, but I mean,
square
like, that's,
haircut.
come on now,
Lindsay,
that's a
what
Tuesday
kind of
outfit for.
Lindsay, what kind of coat do you want him in?
And he could have just been in one of those black long coats. I don't know what men's coats
She's
are
not
called.
voting for him either. She's mad at his outfit too.
Oh, I'm so happy.
He's out there working for the people.
Way to go, Bernie. Coming up on DBL, Al catches up with Sean Robinson from 90 Day Fiance. She's hosting a juicy new spinoff that goes even further than the OG show.
Welcome back to DBL. I'm excited because I'm calling all of my 90 Day Fiance fans. The franchise is back with a twist. Host Sean Robinson is dishing what really happens behind the scenes. It's all part of 90 Day Bears All. And guess what, y'all? I got a sneak peek. You can check it out, too.
Do you think you've seen it all? You won't believe what's about to happen next.
Oh my God. She's never gonna see this, right?
Get ready to bear it all.
We're joined by Sean Robinson, host of my favorite show, 90 Day Fiance. You guys know that. Thank you, Sean, for coming on DBL. You're hosting a new behind-the-scenes series called 90 Day Bears All, where you're telling fans everything. Be real. Why did you decide to dish it all?
We can say anything, they can do anything, they can show anything that we could not show you on regular TV. Okay, so let's get with it. Since you, Al, are a big fan of the show, you know Brandon and Julia.
Of course.
They're staying in Brandon's parents' house. They got the rules in the house. And so one day they go out into a car, and I guess they forgot the cameras were on in the car that record them for the show. They went up and got busy in the car, and so Brandon comes on, and I'm like, Brandon, what were you thinking? Okay, they got cameras on you.
I have to ask you about Ed. I'm gonna go off prompter. I'm telling the booth, I'm sorry. With Ed, he appeared to be kind of the sympathetic, loving figure, but then, you know, as we went to vacation, he hit her with the toothpaste. Remember when he said that her breath wasn't great? Do you think that he kind of lost some fan support with that? Because he's not, we've seen some characters that are truly hard to like. Ed is lovable, but then he's made some missteps where it makes you kind of question.
Well, Al, I'm glad you asked, because we ask Big Ed about that when he comes on. So, you got to tune in.
I failed. Again.
I'm going to squeeze this question in because my girlfriend will kill me if I don't get it in. We have Darcy and Stacey spinoff. We have Family Chantel spinoff. If you run the world, what couple gets their next spinoff?
I would say David and Annie.
Yes.
Whatever comes out of Annie's mouth, we can't air on regular TV.
All right, I love it. I know you gotta go. I know you gotta go, but you answered my question. Sean, thank you so much for coming to DBL. Please come back. You guys can catch 90 Day Bears All on Discovery Plus. We'll be right back. Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Al.
Promote.
Welcome back to DBL. We have some sad news to share. Major League Baseball legend Hank Aaron has died.
No.
I know. He was 86 years old. The Hall of Famer was the longtime home run king. He broke the record in 1974 with 715, surpassing Yankees legend Babe Ruth. He finished his career with 755 and was ultimately passed by Barry Bonds. But many still consider him the home run king. Wow.
And we won't say why some can still consider him that, but I still consider him the king. And also just when he did it, like the death threats that he got when he was on the precipice of breaking the record. Like, do you think a lot of people were interested in seeing a black man break Babe Ruth's record?
Right.
Like, you imagine what that was like?
Right.
And he went out there and did it and then hit 40 more after that. So
wow.
Long live the king.
I know.
Hammer and Hank.
What a legend. A few comments before we go, because I promised I'd get your opinions on that first story. Julia says this will disadvantage real women. It's a fallacy that's regrettable. Trans women are real women, in my opinion. James says, I hate LGBTQ people and their struggle for equal rights gets trotted as a wedge issue to confuse and upset people. Most people just don't know that trans men or women and need to learn their facts. Calm down. All right. Well, thanks for chiming in. DBL's new every day. We will see you guys Monday, same time, same place. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.
you.